Well, this week on Alien Earth, I tell you what, there are a lot more questions raised than answers given, but the answers we do get, man, they're pretty juicy. So stick around. We're going to get into all of that. Feel free to skip around in the comments, or skip around rather in the bottom of the timeline for anything happening throughout the review if you want to go to a specific part. Otherwise, let's get into it. What's up, my know-it-alls? All right, we're talking about Alien Earth, the next episode. Wow. Not a bad episode. It really wasn't. I actually really thoroughly enjoyed the episode. I felt like the show is... So, out the gate, you see Timothy Alfons' character. He is understanding a lot more about what's going on than most people think. Two of the boys, I believe it's Nibs and Slightly, I believe. I could be wrong. They're there at the egg area where the eggs are, and they're looking around and whatnot. And then Dude shows up. And when he shows up, Dude being the cyborg from the ship itself, he shows up. What an interesting character. Seriously. He has a wonderful conversation a little bit later with Yutani. And you find, and it's funny because they put in context. He's like, I want to talk to the old lady. And she's like, my mother passed away. It's been 65 years. Because you forget they use cryosleep.
You used to know my grandmother. It's been 65 years, Miss Tomorrow. I run the Enterprise today.
Which means anytime you go off in long missions, you're gone for a good chunk of your life. Most people you know. And he makes that argument. He's like, look, because she's like, oh, we'll recover it, this and that. Let's get you out. And he's like, no, I'm staying. I'm going to recover this thing because I've given my life to it.
I'm gone a lifetime. Everyone I know is dead.
You should have read your contract.
I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you, these creatures, they are my life's work, and I'm going to get them back.
And I was like, okay, I get that level of commitment, especially considering that whole concept. So I'm down. When you see him encounter the kids, I call them the kids, but it's a little bit starting to get disconcerting seeing these grown-ups behaving like 11-year-olds. The kids are just exploring because notice the eggs aren't opening for them because obviously there's no human there. So Dude shows up and he proceeds to peep that there's something wrong with them. He realizes they're synths and calls them out on the fact that, well, wait a minute. So why aren't you guys? They mentioned they have parents. And so he manages to, he released from his little cyborg hand, he releases a little thing. It's like I thought it was just a tracking device. Come to find out it's a tracking device with communication device. And he puts it on as he approaches one of the kids, he whispers in his ear, one is a machine, not a machine. And he puts it on his neck. The thing sinks in. As a result, now he can communicate with the kid. Also, I believe, track him. And Timothy Alfons' character shows up and whatnot, and then the guy gets away. They make the decision, the boss makes the decision, Peter, if you will, makes the decision to bring all the specimens back. Down below, Wendy and her brother. Wendy has chased after her brother. She finds him. The alien the Xenomorph shows up. She has to face it. This is the one thing that absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, pissed me off. You did great the first 2 episodes. If you don't have the money to do this, don't do it. By that I mean, there's this whole encounter where Wendy manages to, as the creature's about to try to bite her brother, she gets this ring thing tool around its second inner mouth thing and starts yanking it and pulling it, and the creature's wrestling her by trying to pull on its face thing. Now online people are like, oh, well, there she goes, she's a Wendy Sue and the whole bit. She's a synth, bro. They've already established her strengths. So I don't know what the big issue is, like seriously. And I thought the scene was kind of cool. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's wonderfully deep in storytelling parts and all this other stuff. No, I literally was like, that's neat. And so she wrestles it into this garage area as Dude's supposed to drop the door, and the creature grabs her and pulls her back into the little garage. The door shuts. We proceed to hear the most intense fight happening. And all she has is this cutting, I want to say sword, but it actually looks like a giant paper cutter wedge, like it's the arm of a paper cutter. Her brother's like, oh my God, he's trying to hotwire the door. He gets the door open, and you see the creature with its head cut off. How are you going to show me a really cool end to a fight you didn't show me? At least they should have given us while he's trying to figure it out, whether he's communicating through the comms or whatever, they should have given us something, even if it's just brief glimpses of something lit by the flashes of her muzzle of the gun she had, or whatever the device is she's using. It's like a laser thing, whatever. Something that shows what's going on, because I feel robbed. And it felt cheap. It undermined what they had already done for me. You've already in 2 episodes shown us wonderfully graphic Xenomorph stuff without being incredibly, terribly too over-the-top graphic. But why all of a sudden not show us what sounds like an amazing fight? I think the answer is pretty simple. You didn't have the budget for it. And I feel like that's a problem, because you can't have a show that is based on all this neat stuff that is visually interesting, that requires us to see what's happening. And I'm sorry, but as a result of all you had done, this felt cheap. Now, if this technique had been used in the first episode to the second episode, and we didn't actually see the Xenomorph till now, maybe I could have been okay with it. But that's not what happened. And as a result, it felt cheap. And I'm definitely dinging him for it on the score. You do begin to understand a lot more of the machinations, especially because they finally managed to get everybody back. Wendy's hurt, by the way. She was hurt by the whole situation. She falls unconscious. They take her, and so everyone's whatever. So the whole thing, everybody makes it back safely. Timothy Alfons' character is that he's got them all bringing the eggs and everything else into a research lab. It's a sealed lab, because the boy wonder, the boy genius has decided, well, they're going to take whatever this $1 trillion discovery is. And everyone really kind of gets on him. Oh, you didn't care about what we're trying to do, the big product we're going to launch, all because you want the new shiny thing. And he kind of resents that at first. Sidebar. One of the other kids is very ambitious, and she wants to be the boy genius's favorite, which I find awesome, because I too have a favorite. And, oh yeah, she knows who she is. And so it's so funny, because when he's talking to her, I remember I had to remind Mrs. Know-It-All. I said, because he says, I'm going to send you some books, this and that. And she goes, am I your favorite now? And he goes, no, but you're in the running. And it's because, if you remember an earlier conversation from a previous episode, he created these humans downloaded into synth bodies because he's trying to make someone to talk to. It's a very sarcastic way of essentially saying, or a glorified way of saying, he wants to find someone he can have an intelligent discussion with, because frankly, his mind outlasts everybody else's. Nobody can outthink him. Trust me, I know what that's like. When you get to see that whole encounter with them, where he's talking and they're like, Timothy Alfons, the best one about it, who's like, oh, how long did you wait? Did you do just this new shiny thing? Blah, 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 whatever else.
Was it worth it?
What?
Risking a decade's work on something new and shiny.
Mike, you're all so feisty today.
He goes to see the creatures. And they have all the creatures, all the different aliens that have been introduced, they've got. And as soon as he stands over one of the egg things, Timothy Alfons peeps that the thing starts to want to open. And he's like, time to leave, get out. And he shoves him out the door. Dude's like, what's going on, this and that? And he tells him flat out. I do like how intelligent that character is. I feel like Timothy Alfons playing him such a wonderful way. And he's real talented. And so when he kicks him out, he says to him, he explains to him, he's like, these creatures burst out from inside. So he explains the entire thing. And so fine. So then what does the kid do? He's like, all right, fine, lock it down. Nobody who's not synthetic comes in. And he goes, okay. And that's arguably the safest way to do this. And it immediately made, I looked over at Mrs. Know-It-All and I went, why the heck hasn't Weyland Yutani got figured that out and just sent a ship full of synths after it? Like, apparently the face huggers don't, like, they can detect and know and don't care about the robot people. This was a glorified filler episode, and that's fine. It definitely told and advanced the story for sure. Is it the greatest of episodes? Probably not. Yeah, so I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts on the episode. Did you see what I saw in terms of this wasn't as good as the previous two rather? But it still was good, and I'm still here for this, and I'm still on board. And so long as they end up telling me a good story, I'm down. I am beginning to see the edges of the story they want to tell, I think. And I'm going to reserve my judgment until next week, Because next week will be the 4th episode, which will be the middle ground, the middle of the season. Because we're gonna get eight total episodes. So that'll give me a better idea if what I'm seeing is correct. So there you go. Now you know. And if knowing's half the battle, you have to know yourself. What's the know index for this episode of Alien Earth? You know, there's more good than bad. The bad just happens to hit sometimes. And aside from the fact that I feel like they misstepped in a few areas, I'm still on board. So I'm going to give this episode an 8 out of 10.
Lock it down. No body in or out who isn't synthetic.
Comment below. Let me know what you thought. Did you like my score? Was I wrong? Am I not giving it a fair shake? Or am I giving it too much? Let me know down below. I can't wait to talk more about this. All right, guys. I will talk to you again next week. Don't miss the show. We're also going to be talking about this on Nerd Fights tomorrow night. So if you get an opportunity to watch that, please, by all means, check out that show as well. Where Salty and I will go a little deeper into the series and what we think is going to happen, as well as talk about the most recent episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which also that review should have dropped already earlier today. All right, guys. I'll talk to you again real soon. Never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all. Bye, guys.